I think it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you have to mail your resume, if you are applying for any kind of job, using the electronic medium, if you are not sharing the hard copy and instead of that you are mailing the soft copy to that particular organization, then you need to write down an email. If you are mailing, then you need to use a proper way of writing the mail. All right, so as soon as you open the compose section of the Gmail or the any mail account, you will see a screen which says from to. So if you open your Gmail account from the laptop or from a computer, then you won't see this from. But if you open it from the phone, or if you open it from your phone, then you'll see from as well, where your email address will be auto filled up. Next you would see is to. So here you need to write down the mail ID of the person to whom you are sending the mail. That means the organization, the employer, whatsoever. You need to mention the email ID. Now, I would just like to give you an idea. Do not write down the email ID at the beginning. Do not write the email ID at the beginning. Write the email ID after you complete everything, after you have written down the body of the mail, after you have attached all your files, and after you have checked everything and you think that it's now perfect and you can send the mail, then you can write down the email ID of the person. All right, now why I'm telling you this, because once you write down the email ID and then you write down the subject and the Gmail or and the body of the mail, then what happens is that sometimes if by mistake mistakenly if you like send the mail without completing the body of the mail or without completing the whole mail, then you won't be able to delete it. So that is why I would like to suggest you to add the email ID later on, so that even if you make some certain mistake while you check after you have completed the mail, after you have attached all the required files, then you can correct it and you can make it ready, and then after that you can add the email ID. All right, then you can see a section which says subject. So like you write your applications, it's the same thing. You need to write the subject, you need to write the motto of that, you need to write the motive of that particular application. So this is for this is a job application. This is for the purpose of applying for a job. So this is what I have written: application for the post of sales manager. All right, sales executive. So you need to write down your purpose in the space where the subject is written, and then after that you need to go to the body of the mail and start with dear sir slash madam. If you are unaware of the gender, then do write sir slash madam. All right, and if you know the gender, then you can just write down sir or madam, any one of it. And if you're unaware of it, then you can just go with both the words. You can write down both the words using a slash. All right, then this is a simple one. This is a simple mail. All right, where the candidate has first of all written her name. My name is Priya Sharma. Then to has mentioned the qualification: I am a student of BSc Biotechnology, 5th semester. Then the motive of the mail is mentioned: I would like to apply for the post of sales executive in your organization. And then please, in the next paragraph, it's written as, please find the attached resume for your perusal. So you need to mention this line. You need to mention that you have attached your resume, so that it's a formal way of writing down the mail, so that once the other person goes to through the mail, so that he can actually go and download and look at the resume or the other files that you have attached. All right, so whatever files you attach in the mail, you need to mention everything in your mail. So here I have just written the resume part. So please find the attached resume for your perusal. Perusal means reading or understanding. So this is one of the best words to use in the body of the mail. Then you can write regards and your name. You can also add another word, that is thanks. Thanks and regards, your name, also thank you and regards. So this is a very simple way of writing down a job application. This is a very simple way of writing down an email. And the purpose of this email is to apply for a job. All right. This is one format, and I will be sharing the formats in the group so that later on you can go through it and see. Again, the format of the mail remains the same. I have changed the subject. Now the subject is application for the post of sales manager. Now the candidate is applying for the post of sales manager. So subject should be according to the designation, that you are applying for this designation, that designation. So whenever you're applying for a job, your subject must be according to the designation. Then again, start with dear sir and madam. Now this is a longer job application where I have written a few more details, where I have included a few more details. All right, now see, with reference to your advertisement published in the Assam Tribune, on 10th May 2020, I, Gautam Kashyap, would like to apply for the post of sales manager. So here the candidate is mentioning about the uh, source of the advertisement. All right, source of that particular news, from where he has come to know that there is a particular vacancy. All right, so you can mention the source, whether you have gone through the advertisement in a newspaper or maybe online. So you can mention the source. If you're mentioning the source, do not forget to write down the date of the advertisement, and do not forget to write down the name of that particular source. All right, then here again, I have completed MBA from Assam Downtown University in the year 2019. So if you have completed the course already, you need to mention it in this manner. You need to mention the name of the university or the institution and the passing year. That's it. You don't have to start from class 10, because everything will be written, everything will be there in your resume. So you don't have to write down that I have completed class 10 from this school in this year, I have completed class 12 from this school in this year. No, you don't have to write all these things. Just write down about your last qualification or highest qualification. And if you are pursuing currently, then you can mention that currently I am pursuing. Like in the last letter that I had shown you, there the candidate, there I had written that I am a student of this semester in this university. So you can write in that way, or if you have completed, then you can use this sentence to tell about your qualification. Then if you have any work experience, then you can mention it, the last work experience. So here I have just mentioned an internship. I have worked as an intern for 3 months at IBC company. So if you have done any internship, write the period of the internship, 3 months, 6 months, and also mention the name of the company. Then here the candidate is showing interest to join the company. So this is also another way of impressing the one who is going through the email so that he or she calls you for the interview. So I would like to be associated with your company and contribute in the growth and development of the company. So here the candidate says that, shows the interest that he wants to work there in that company and also wants to work for the growth and development of the company. Then the next line says that it would be an honor to speak with you personally about my prospects of working at this position. So now the candidate is also requesting the other person, the requesting the person who is going through the mail to meet, requesting to have a face to face conversation and then talk about the position and have an interaction with one another. So you can use this line so that the other person comes to know that you are quite interested and also interested to meet the other person. Therefore, please find the attached resume for perusal. Again, this is the same line that is going to remain. This is the line that is going to remain the same for each and every letter, email, or any cover letter. So because you have attached a resume, you are supposed to mention it. All right, then the last line, again there's a paragraph change, so the last line is your kind consideration would be highly appreciated. So this is another way of ending your mail. So then, thank you, Gautam Kashyap, and then attach your resume and then you can send it. So there are students, I have seen students who write everything here in the subject area, and that is kind of very shocking, and it's not at all like acceptable. So do not do it. The Whenever you're writing the email, just check where to write the subject and then in that bigger space write the body of the mail. And another thing that I would like to mention is, whenever you are write an email, do not write in block letters. All right, do not write in block letters. Just go for the simple way of writing, that is, initials should be capital and then small letters should follow it. So just use that uh, you way of writing. Do not write everything in block letters, because that's not how you write an email. All right, and whatever you attach, you need to mention your attachments. All right, so that's how you write an email. I am going to share both the emails in your WhatsApp group. Now, moving ahead, today I will be discussing about the interview questions. So the first and the most common question during an interview is, introduce yourself, tell me something about yourself, or give your introduction. So this is the most common question. I had already explained you that there are three types of interview questions: technical questions, common or traditional questions, and then case interview questions. So I will be discussing about a few common questions now. I will start with the introductory part. Now, this is a very simple question, and as you know, this is also a common question. How are you supposed to introduce yourself? I am going to tell you about certain points that you need to include when you give your introduction. So do not miss the points and make sure that you include all the points when you give your introduction, and you must practice it so that you do not fumble or you do not get nervous while giving your introduction, and you must sound very confident when you give your introduction. Why? Because you are telling about yourself, you are talking about yourself. So that is why you should sound very confident. You shouldn't sound confused. You should be very confident when you give your introduction. So that is why remember all the points that you should include when you are giving your introduction, and also practice it so that you can gain confidence. So these are the certain points, as you can see on your screen. I'm going to share with you this as well. So these are the certain points that you need to include when you give your introduction. So the first one is name. All right, start with my name is. Do not use any title that is Mr. Miss, because when you are in front of the person can see you whether you are a Mr. or Miss. So do not use any title before your name, Mr. or Miss. All right. So start with my name is, then say your first name and your last name. Now, if you have a middle name, you need to say that as well. You need to tell your full name. So do not say myself, because myself is grammatically incorrect. You cannot use myself in the beginning of the sentence. And you might have heard a lot of people using the word myself when they give their introduction, but it is grammatically incorrect. It is totally incorrect, no matter who says it, but it is incorrect. Myself cannot be used in the beginning of the sentence. Myself is a pronoun which is a object pronoun. All right, so object is that part of the sentence that is that that is at towards the end. Subject is that part of the sentence that starts the sentence, then there is a verb, and the last part of the sentence is the object. So that is why you are not supposed to use myself in the beginning of the sentence, because myself is a object pronoun. So whatever it is, do not use the word myself. You don't have to go too much into the grammatical part, but do not, just remember, do not use myself when you introduce yourself. Just go for the age old process of introducing yourself, that is my name is. All right, I am, you can use definitely I am, it is correct, but my name is the best way of telling your name. So tell your name properly, be a little slower, be clear, and do not just say your name, and do not just quickly say your name. Just after you tell your name, after you tell your first name, just wait for a second and then tell your last name. All right, so it should look like that. It should sound like you are telling it should be something that the other person must understand, that yes, this is the first name and this is the last name. The other person must not be confused. So that is why just wait for a second. There must be a pause for a second and then tell your last name. Okay, so my name is here. I have just written, just given an example. So my name is Priya Singh. All right. Next is hometown. So now you have to tell about your hometown. Just tell the name of your hometown, or the name of your city, or the name of your state. Do not give the postal address. Do not tell the postal address, because the interviewer doesn't want to know about it. So just go for the name of the particular place, that is the city or the village or the state. Next up is qualification. So if you're pursuing, then you can say that I'm pursuing this course from this university. And if you have already completed, then you can mention it in this way, that I have completed this course in the year suppose 2019 from this particular college or university. If you are a student currently, if you're a student, instead of pursuing, you can also directly mention the semester, that I am a student of this semester. Suppose I am a student of 5th semester, so you can also express it in that way. Mention your highest qualification. You don't have to start from the school level. Go for the highest qualification. All right, next is the other qualification. So if you have any other qualification, you can include that. If you have done any certificate courses, if you have done any certificate courses and you have the certificate with you, then you can mention that the name of that particular course. Or otherwise, if you don't have the certificate, do not mention that particular course. Now, I am sure all of you have done a lot of courses on Coursera in the last semester, and even now, even in this semester, you're doing a lot of courses on Coursera. You are supposed to do a lot of courses on Coursera. So now, just remember one thing: when you write down about your other qualification in the resume, or when you're telling about your other qualification, just mention two to three. Just mention only two to three certificates, because if you are going to mention about all the courses that you have done, suppose you have done 10 courses, it is going to take a lot of time. If you mention all the 10 courses on the resume, then that is going to take a lot of space, isn't it? And as I had said, the resume should be of one page, so it is going to take a lot of space and you won't be able to complete your resume in one page. So that is why mention only about those certificates, only about those courses which are related to that particular organization, which is related to that particular vacancy, which is related to that particular designation or position. Do not mention everything. I have students who had done many courses on Coursera, like 30 to 40 courses they have completed on Coursera. But you cannot just mention about everything, because if you start mentioning about each and everything, and that is going to take another 24 hours. So that is why whatever is the related to the organization's vision and mission, or the particular vacancy or the position, just go for that particular course. All right. Because of Coursera, students have done a lot of courses. Otherwise, in a lifetime, we only do 2 to 3 or max at max 4 certificate courses. But because of Coursera, most of the students, they have done a lot of courses, but do not mention everything. And when you mention about your other qualification, you can mention in the same way like you have mentioned your uh, educational qualification. I have completed 6 months diploma from ABC Institute. You need to mention the name of the course and the name of the institute, the name of the platform. Okay. Next, family. So now then you need to provide your provide the details of your family. Details as in, you need to provide the number of your family members. So if your family is a small family, it's a nuclear family, then you can just go with the by saying that back I have my parents and my brother back at home. I have my parents and my brother and sister back at home. But if you live in a joint family, if there are a lot of people in your family, then just go for the total number, just go for the total number of family members. For example, I have 5 members in my family, I have 6 members, I have 10 members in my family. If the number of family members is more, then go for the total numbers, and if not, then you can just stick to the you can just say mention the relationship with the family members. Next, you need to mention your hobby. So if you have one hobby, say it as my hobby is. If you have two hobbies or more than two hobbies, then you can just go for my hobbies are. When you're telling about your hobbies, make sure the hobbies are logical and it should sound good. It shouldn't sound silly, like my hobby is to sleep, my hobby is to eat, my hobby is to chat. So you might like to do that particular thing. You might be a great big foodie, you might like to sleep a lot, you might like to chat and all these things, but you're not, even if you like to do that, you're not supposed to mention it in during the interview, in the interview. All right, so mention something that is logical, like you can mention gardening, you can mention singing, and singing, dancing, listening to music, these are the common hobbies that most of the people they have. So of course you can mention these hobbies as well. You can also mention like hobbies such as traveling, cooking, whatever your hobby is. Do not, you don't have to like create a hobby for that particular interview, but you need to be also logical when you explain your hobby. All right, whatever you like to do, you can definitely mention it, but that should be a logical one, so take care of it. So for example, if you say I like to read books, I like to read novels, so you can also get another question on that particular thing, on that particular sentence that you have said, that I like to read books. Who is your favorite writer? What is your favorite book? So you can get another question on that. So be ready with that as well. So do not say something that you do not know about. So say something that you actually like to do, but do not be silly. If you have any work experience, then you can mention that as well. And if not, then uh, if you don't have any work experience, if you are a fresher, then just skip the point. And if you have work experience, you have worked somewhere, or if you have done a project, if you have done internship, then you can mention that, like I have done 6 months internship in this ABC organization. So you can mention the duration and the name of the organization. If you have completed any project, you can name, you can tell the name of that project, that I have completed this project, I have completed this particular project. Then if you have work experience, if you have worked somewhere earlier, then you can definitely mention that as well. And how are you supposed to mention that? I have worked as a, your designation, suppose I have worked as a as a sales executive in ABC company from 2019, January 2019 to January 2020. So you need to mention the duration, you need to mention the name of the designation, you need to mention the designation and the name of the organization. All right, then the next thing you can add is interest or your skills. So you can add something that can that will impress the interviewer. It, you can add a skill, or you can tell about your interest which is related to the vision or mission of the company, which is related to your particular department, which is related to the particular post. So you can tell something like that, so that the interviewer is impressed, and so that the interviewer feels that yes, you are the best fit for this organization. So you don't have to be too loyal. You can also prepare this, so that you can be selected. So here I have written as I'm a fast learner. So fast learners are, you know, we are human beings, we don't know everything. So you might not know something when you will work in start working in an organization. You will not know how to work in that organization. You will gradually learn it. So if you are a fast learner, then that is definitely going to help the organization, because you are going to learn everything very quickly. And I have also mentioned that, and also passionate, and also passionate about learning new things. So this is also another very important, this is also another very impressive line that you can use, because passion about learning new things, that means you're also interested, you can learn, you can learn, you are very you are a fast learner, you can learn things quickly, and you also like to learn new things. So there are people who can be first fast learners, but they are not interested in learning new things. So if you are if you have both the qualities, that you can learn fast, and you can also, and you are also interested in learning new things, so then that's a great skill. And definitely by telling this kind of skills, by sharing this kind of interests or skills, you will be able to grab that position. So this is just an example, you can use any other instead of this. So, and whenever you are preparing for this thing, your introduction, do add your interest and skills, and make sure that whatever interest or skills you are mentioning, that should be related to the particular organization, that should be related to that particular position. It should not be something that is not at all related. All right. And then after you are done, yes. Yeah, after you are done with all these points, at the end you need to say, that's all about me, thank you. So you can also just say thank you, or you can use this whole sentence. So that's totally up to you, what how you feel comfortable. But you need to mention thank you, because that will show, that will give an end, that will conclude the whole introductory part, that will conclude your introduction. Otherwise the interviewer might wait for you to tell something else about yourself. So that is why end it by saying a thank you. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is how you should give your introduction. All right. So if you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box, or also you can ask me. So today I had explained you what are the points you need to include while giving your introduction. When you give your introduction, what are the points you need to include? So in the next class, I'm going to ask everyone. So be ready with it, learn it, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me now so that I can clear it. And if not, then go through the points that I have provided. I will be sharing it on in the WhatsApp group as well. So go through everything and read it. Prepare your introduction properly, and the next class in the next class you have to give your introduction the way I have taught you to give your introduction.
Okay, so ma'am, I had one question.
Hmm.
Ma'am, so you have said that we can mention the other certificates or Coursera courses or any
Hmm.
something like that that we have earned,
Hmm.
but and you just mentioned to mention 3 or 4 of those. So how do we know which to choose among all of them?
Yeah, whatever is related to that particular position you have applied for. Okay, suppose you have applied for a marketing job. All right, so if you have applied for a marketing job, whatever is related to that marketing profile, you can just mention about that particular course. Go for just select 1 or 2 courses. You don't have to tell everything, because you might have done a course on marketing, you might have done a course on finance, you might have done a course on something else. So suppose you have done a course on HR. Okay, so there are courses available which is related to HR and all these things. All right, HR, finance, and all these courses are also available, and you have applied for a marketing position. And now, if you're mentioning about that course which is not related to the position, it won't make sense. You can definitely mention, but only if you like, if you have done many courses out of 10 courses. If you have done a lot of courses, suppose you have done 10 courses, all right, and you cannot mention all the 10 courses there in the interview. You cannot mention all the 10 courses in your resume. And when you apply for that job, you know the position, you know what are the requirements of that job. And if you don't know, then you need to figure out what are the requirements, what will be the requirements of that particular job. So according to the requirements, you can describe yourself. You can tell, you can add your certificates in the resume, or you can add about your certificates in the resume, or tell about those certificates only. Am I clear? So if it is marketing, then tell about, then just you tell about those courses which is related to marketing, which you have done on Coursera.
Okay, ma'am. So we have to be relevant to the job that we're applying
Yeah,
for.
yeah, you have to be relevant to that particular position or the job or the designation or the whole company's motto or the vision of the company. All right. So in that way, you can sound good, that can be impressive as well. And you, if you mention everything, then that is going to be too lengthy, and if the courses are not at all related to the position that you have applied for, so it won't be worthy, isn't it? So you can mention it accordingly, which is the courses which are totally related to that particular position. You need to mention those courses only. Otherwise, in our lifetime, what do? We do only 3 to 4 courses, short term courses, that means certificate courses, isn't it? But because of Coursera, because of this whole pandemic, you have done a lot of courses on Coursera, isn't it? Otherwise, this would have not happened. So whatever course we do, suppose I had done 3 certificate courses, and I am going to mention about all the 3 courses in the interview, or I will write about all the 3 courses in my resume. But because now the scenario has changed, and you have done a lot of courses on Coursera, and you cannot mention everything, so you need to mention only those courses which is related to the particular position. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I hope I'm clear, Julius.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so this class will end soon because the time limit is almost over. So thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, I'll be sharing the notes. If you have any questions later on, then you can ask me in the next class as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.